I was young, me and Canocre, mini excavator way, Abo Juma, mini excavator way, Abo Juma, so machine you, Yasia, Juma for free, me say, as our mini excavator way.
You're welcome back to the AM Club right here on MX24. My name is Akushika Lebene, and this morning, another very important conversation is about to be had here. And so if you're ready, I was born ready. Well, I bet you didn't know this. Well, we're here to educate you on that. I keep telling you that we're learning and growing together. So this morning is another opportunity for us to learn. Well, World or Global Recycling Day is a day that is observed globally. I bet you didn't know this. Now, we observe Global Recycling Day to remind ourselves that what we call waste can actually be useful. It's about protecting our environment, preventing flooding, creating jobs, and most importantly, changing our mindset as a people. And before we came back here on the show, you saw on air that, or on your screens, that a group of gentlemen, were working on making sure that an environment is safe for a certain group of people. And I'm sure I was asking them earlier that you used all these hours and you were still not done. And it was like, and the gentleman told me it's a lot of things that they're dealing with. For 3 years, these group of men, and I was telling the team earlier to put their hands together for them. And it's not because they're in the studio, but we think we all agree, or we all can agree, that the work that the Bastard Boys are doing are an incredible, impactful work they do over there. I cannot fathom what government could not do for many years, and I'm saying this carefully, what organizations who tried couldn't do for many years. A group of boys have, with the support of many people, achieved in a span of 3 years. Because I swear I could just say that, listen, and I'm swearing on television, oof, that's bad. I could tell myself that they have done this work for more than 3 years. But they're just telling me only 3 years, but it feels like, the impact we have felt feels like, many decades of work done. So I'm joined by the Bastard Boys this morning. And of course, joining me, Heneba Kwejo Safo, founder and leader, Bastard Boys, and James Safo, Director of Operations, Bastard Boys. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
How are we doing?
Yeah, good.
I get to meet you, superstar. His voice is the voice you hear every single time, explaining what it is that you're doing. First of all, we'd like to say thank you for your service to the country, Ghana. I must say that you people deserve all the support, all the love you get, and all the appreciation you get. I didn't think we're not doing enough. We'll do more. We promise we'll do more. But also joined by your, because I see that the people that volunteer as well to support you in doing the work that you do. Let's start from why this initiative. I'm sure you've had this conversation a million times, but tell me why the decision to put together a group of young men and women to just clean up our environment. It's a great initiative, but at what point did you decide that in your life?
Okay, thank you, and good morning to all beautiful viewers out there.
Good morning.
It all starts from understanding what life actually means. We spend most of our time thinking that, life will happen, but we create life, it doesn't happen. So if I look at Ghana's history from when we were younger, it seems to be always pointing hands at the problem, but who will fix the problem? And the future is ours. 30 years from today, all the people we want to blame today might not be in existence because they're already 60 and 80, which clearly means that the future is you and I, 20 years, 30 years, 90 years. We are the future. And if we will grow and get sicker the more, it means that the environment is sick. The environment is a clear depiction of what happens to humanity. If you are in a country where thousands goes to the hospital in a daily, it is just telling you that the whole country is in filth. Yeah. And that is the exact reason why thousands are going to the hospital on a daily. So if we really need to change the stories, then we might stop pointing fingers because the consequences doesn't really care whether you are a contributor or you are supposed to manage the problem. So it's just a movement to deliberately awaken Ghanaian youth to the realization that until we step in to secure our future, we can speak all the grammar, but we just grow old and complain as everybody else. And of course, generations will come and they will point fingers at us, especially today, because in this era now, we have everything to make Ghana and the whole Africa a great place. Because think about when Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was fighting for independence. He couldn't reach the people in our villages because there was no social media. But he fought so hard to a point where independence was given. It means that with the abundance of internet technologies, TikTok, Instagram, and all of that,
so much resource.
It simply means that this is the age and the time to change the story by simply doing educative content and then share the internet to do its job by trying to get more people to realize that no matter what happens to this country, the Ghanaian is the only constant that will change the story. And I'm saying the Ghanaian because devoid of MPP or NDC, but the Ghanaian, which is the majority of us being the actual Ghanaian, we are the change, and we are the only people capable of turning the fortunes of this country around. So that is basically the point where we realize that no, we should shift from twerking and laughing on TikTok to doing what really matters.
The man knows how to throw stray bullets. Indeed. And when you started off this journey of changing the narrative, on social media, you did receive a lot of applause from the beginning. That's what at least we saw. Was that the case for you? I mean, when you think about how you launched on social media.
Well, the very beginning was not of applause. It was rather of Munkope Juma Binye and all of that. When people see us by the roadside, they are quick to imagine that you people have sat there, especially when we started in 2023. So December, when it was getting to the end of the year, was where we were actually in our peak somewhere. So that was the time when majority of the people who saw us for the first time are thinking that you wait when the year is getting to an end before you take action. Munkope Juma Binye and a whole lot of. But if you are trying to explain what calculus means to a child, you don't expect them to get it from the right beginning. So we saw those people as people who do not understand what life is about, because clearly life itself is the environment. Today, if you look at the world around, people are fighting. Why? Because they want to own the land. So what really matters is the land and not what we think it is. So we are bent on making sure that we break it down for people to understand that the environment is all that matters. When it goes bad, regardless of your personality, we are all in trouble.
I see. And how many members did you have at the beginning?
1, 2, 3, 4. One camera guy. Yes. And
I noticed you both have same last name. So that's your brother?
Okay, so all of us were named after the late Apostle Dr. Engineer Kojo Safo Kantanka.
Oh, so I get where your inspiration comes from. A change maker you are. Okay, we're going to continue. So there's a Safo and the Safo. Okay, so don't mistake it. We understand. Okay, so how many members you were going to talk about the number of people?
So we're 3. I think 4. One behind the cameras and then 3 people doing the cleaning.
5. Wife.
Oh no, but that one, okay, anyway, the actual start there was actually 2. It was myself and my girlfriend at the time.
Oh no!
So right from there, then we involved.
At the time, because now she's wife.
Yeah.
Or what, you are not together?
She's wife. No.
She's wife. Because after all that hard work, if you don't wife, problem there. Oh, I see. So you and your girlfriend decided to be change makers. That's amazing. That's another side of the story that we'll get into one day. But today we're here to talk about recycling, because at some point, all of this boils down to how we manage our, what we call debt from home. And so to you, Lot, I know I've been talking a lot with you, so I'm going to pass it on to Mr. Safo too, right? What does recycling mean to you as an individual and also as a group? Not even as an individual, as a group, recycling, what does that mean to you, and why is it so important for us to highlight this conversation on this day?
All right, so once again, thank you very much for giving us this opportunity.
Thank you for coming.
So to us, recycling means giving new products new lives. So there is nothing like bola in Ghana. Everything can be recycled to give new products new lives. So anytime we go to our normal volunteerism works, we make sure that we do a proper sorting. We remove all the plastics from, the rest.
Yes. We
make sure that the sun is actually placed in a better place so that someone can actually use it. I remember we went to Achimota overhead, and then the sand, after they silting the sand, we actually gave it to one farmer. This small farmers around, they normally use those sand, to plant their things. Yeah, so that's what I would say about recycling when it comes to bus stop waste. We believe that there's nothing like Bola, as I said.
Yeah.
Even if in our homes, if you do a proper segregation, you actually understand that the Bola or the proper Bola is something like very small, like maybe chewing gum rubber, or like something like that, because you can recycle your plastics, you can recycle your food waste, because you can actually mix it with sand so that you can get some proper manure to plant your things and all that.
Yeah.
So
Amazing. Now, so one of the things that I'd like to find out is what's the dominant waste in Ghana? What you have done this for 3 years. It's a long time, by the way. 3 years, and I'm still thinking about it. I actually thought you have done this for like 10 years. I could bet that you actually have done this for like 10 years. Because that's how it feels like, really. That's how it feels like. I mean, considering the impact you have right now, that's what it feels like. What is the dominant waste you see in every area? Like this one, when you get there, you're like, you see this show up every single time in a baller setting.
So textile waste and then plastics.
Textile and plastics.
Yeah.
Oh, so still talking to sustainability. So for the you're talking clothes that
Yes.
we wear.
Yes.
And what do we do with that? The plastics and the textiles. When you find them in the baller, what do you do with it?
Where we collect those that are a bit cleaner. In instances where we have water, we collect everything and then wash them. So we send it to our site and then shred them for recycling. When we talk about recycling, people assume that recycling is, something bigger or is for some technocrats. No. Recycling is human activity. As we sit here, we breathe in oxygen, and then we bring out carbon dioxide, and the environment recycle the same carbon dioxide back to us as oxygen. So recycling is what is exactly keeping this whole planet running. The same where we are today, maybe 10,000 years ago was a farm, but today we are here. It has been recycled to human settlement. Who knows, another 10,000 years to come, maybe the whole place today can go back to another farm. Yep. So recycling simply means life. You are your mother in disguise, your grandparents, they are the same as you in disguise. You have been recycled to you. So recycling is not something that is too far away from us. Recycling is our daily activities, and like you said, there is nothing like waste. I once spoke to one Chinese man, and he was like, the only reason why they have cheap things coming in from China is because everything is recycled. So they pick your waste clothing that you throw around, they add a bit of touch and finishes to it, and then they come back selling to you for $1. They don't lose. They make money. So I think it's about time that we begin to understand recycling for what it is, as the only purpose to which this environment or this universe continues to run. That is why, whether you like it or not, that time will come, all of us will die. We'll be recycled into our daughters and sons, and then they take over. So recycling is life, and once we take it from that angle, you'll be mindful of what you are calling waste, because the same thing can be disguised and come back selling to you, and you end up like an iPhone. Today you have 17, you are waiting for 18. It's XR that has been recycled into 18. So that is recycling.
But why do you think this is not common in Accra, though? Because I do remember when we were growing up, and that's a very long time ago. So sometimes I like to just give to my mom things just because, like, I find things and people don't know about it. I'm like, this thing was done, no. Because in my home, you put the bottle, like, sachet water at the time. You put it in a different, box, or in a different, it was these boxes that that has product. This product boxes. It wasn't dustbin. It was boxes. Yes. So she put rubber in it, and you dump the sachet water in a different thing, and then your food waste, you put it in a different box. That's segregation, right?
Yes.
We're doing it very long time ago in my house, And if you come to my house and you pour food inside, whoever did it, that's punishment for you. Like you will collect it. And we used to think it was punishment. Today is a vibe, it's a thing. People are talking about it as though like it's alien to some people. Why do you think that in 2026 people still struggle to recycle things or to adopt the attitude of recycling?
Do you still do it at your home?
Oh, in my house, yes, we still do it. Because there's a lady that comes for the rubber. And I'll give you a story behind it. My son found the lady holding the big thing, like, you know, the sachet thing in a big rubber. And then they were talking amongst themselves, and I think they were sad because they are privileged kids. And the woman looked like she was tired. And so the security man's son told him that, okwakoton or collect idea no, and koton. He's like, oh, we also have a lot, so I can be giving her some. So out of the kindness of his heart, he now makes sure that the adult who's supposed to have sense, make sure that rubber is not in the dustbin, even mistakenly. Because he has to give it to his friend who would go and sell it for money because he doesn't have money to give to her. So that's the story behind the segregation in my house.
Okay.
Yeah, consciously I probably wouldn't have. Because I thought it was punishment.
Okay. So I think in 2026, we are seeing a lot of diverse way people are no longer taking good care of segregating at source like in their homes today, because I would want to say that parenting has failed us. You know, now we expect the system to teach our kids manners, but it doesn't work like that. We are supposed to install in our children what they should look like. So anytime I see either somebody misbehaving in public, I quickly say that the parents have failed. But of course, they won't admit it because your son or daughter is with you from zero before they start hating classroom. Yes, they might copy some things in the classroom or in the new environment, the school settings and all of that. But if you do proper installation for your child, no matter what they face out there, they still remember the subconscious installation. So today, like I'm saying, parents themselves work with the case and then they throw the litter anywhere, thinking that it's normal, the state or the assemblies will take care of it. And then the kids also learn. So in a child's journey, there is something we call the monkey consciousness, which simply means that the child is copying from the environment.
Yeah.
So all of us today, whatever we are, whether good or bad, the adult cannot blame us. We copy it from them. That is why if you look at in Ghana settings, for example, corruption is hard to fight because the young ones today are copying from the big men. For example, you go to a shop, something that is supposed to be sold for, let's say, 5 cedi. The shop owner thinking that he or she needs a lot of money, sells it for, let's say, 7 cedis, making 2 cedis more. It's then easier for the same child who is observing all these two to become a politician and take 100,000 Ghana or $100,000 away.
Because it's been inculcated in
Yes.
them.
So parenting is failing us, and the earlier we realize that for Ghana to get better, the foundation must be parents nurturing their children in a way that they become not just, you know, a citizen, but they become what truly matters for the progress of this country. Until then, the grammar will fade out.
We're not going anywhere.
We are not going anywhere.
Interesting. Now, how can simple materials like plastic bottles and sachet water rubbers be reused instead of being dumped? Because we're learning today, so we want to find out how we could reuse them instead of just dumping them wherever we want, since we don't want to be wise people.
So first of all, our bottles, most of them can be recycled. So you see some sign, I think, below or under the bottle. Yes. So the moment you see those things, that means that that particular bottle can be recycled. And for us, we are actually planning, you know, to shred it, then, you know, use it as covers for gutters and other stuffs.
Okay.
But when it comes to peppers or other stuffs or other products, we have one lady in our mix called Sheila. She used series drinks.
Yes.
The pepper drinks.
Yes.
She actually uses for a handbag.
Oh.
Yes, we have a video That's on our
Okay.
on our socials. You can actually check it out.
Okay. Okay.
You know, just give her some thumbs up.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the materials we normally sometimes send it to Zoom Pack or those dumping sites that can be recycled.
Yeah.
That can actually recycle those products, you know, to have a new life.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I like the way you say the new life.
Yes. Yes.
Now, still on the recycling conversation, what are some practical recycling habits every Ghanaian can start today? Let's teach us how we could do that before we wrap up the conversation.
Okay, so with the bottles, you can easily arrange them with the help of iron rods. You can arrange them to to form a bin.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
So
Yeah,
with the bottles, we can easily do that and then create your own bin. At the same time, if you have what it takes to melt them, then you can just create a flower pot out of it and then have some beautiful flowers planted in your house. Then I think when it comes to the bottles, these are the basics that you can do in your house. And then some of them too can also be used. You fill it with sand, and then you can attach a bit of rope to it, give it different kind of paintings. You can use it in a form of a decor in your house, and you are good to go.
Yeah, interesting. And you just add one more recycling habit you think a Ghanaian should have so that we become a better people.
Okay, so with the papers, for example, we can easily do paper art with it.
Okay.
If you go online today, because of social media, you cannot say you don't know. Just search, ask ChatGPT. Will tell you how exactly you can use paper to create paper art, and you can have these decors to understand that when you do it and do it so well, there are people who will buy these acts and then
You're even
make
going to
some
make
money.
money from recycling.
Yeah, recycling in itself is a whole economy that when as a country we start paying attention to recycling, if we are borrowing 50%, we end up borrowing maybe 40% because 10% of the recycling is going to generate a green economy that will employ thousands. Because as we speak, imagine having a country where every Mondays we send trucks to the community, and what they do is to bring us on Monday. The whole community or the whole country is aware that Mondays are for plastic waste. So if you see the baller car coming to your community, give it only plastic waste. And then we go on Tuesday, we go and collect, let's say, textile waste. Yeah. This textile waste or material waste today has been turned into bricks. You know, what's the name? Like something like pavement blocks.
Okay.
They are being converted into pavement blocks. They are doing a lot more beautiful things with textile waste. So if the whole country is sending trucks to go and bring textile waste, that means you are going to get a lot in a day. Yeah. Straight away, they send them to the factories. It goes through the process, and then we produce something out of it back to the market and sell. So this, sometimes when we talk about unemployment, I listen to it and I say to myself, we are not just being creative. We want to copy everything, and that is our problem. If you want to be creative within the space in this Ghana that we are, 33 million, we can trade among ourselves and we'll be okay. Yeah. So I think we can, especially because the future is ours. Young people today, let's forget about some of the things that we spent and waste our energy on. Whether you speak about a problem today or not, the consequences will not exempt you. So let's be creative, and we'll definitely change, the Ghanaian story.
I have had different conversations on this platform. There's a little bit of fascination happening here. I'm so fascinated by the ideologies of this team, of this particular team here, and I've been looking forward to having a conversation with the Bastard Boys, and it's been worth the wait. Thank you so much, the Sappos, for coming. If someone is watching this morning and based off from the very brilliant submissions you've made about recycling and even how you even started, they want to come and support, they want to further support what you're doing, how do they connect with you?
Okay, so social media is, we are saying that we can deliberately use social media for change. So that is our target. Anytime you search for Bastard Boys, BUZSTOP for stop, BOYS for boys. And then we have our contact on our socials. You can connect to us, and then we can do something. Especially if you're a teacher. If you're a teacher, we are looking, this year, for example, we are championing what we call the behavioral change advocacy. It's funny how we think that nation building without a mindset backup is sustainable. It is not. If President Mahama end up building expressway Accra to Kumasi and the mindset to support the development is not there, you find people chiseling the asphalt just because they feel like they are not in support of what was. So we are saying that for us to make it in this country, we should be deliberate about a mindset backup to sustain all the things that we do. Because if football fans have a sustainable mindset agenda, you don't go to the stadium and spoil the seats and then take a video, come back online and complaining. Who do you think you are doing? Yourself. Because the big man doesn't sit at a popular stand, it is you. And therefore, as part of nurturing mindset to support nation building, we are doing sustainable behavioral change advocacy. So if you're a teacher, we would love to connect with the kids and probably, inspire them from a different level so that they become the best Ghanaian, or they become, the change in the future.
In the future.
What do I say? What do I say? What's the next thing I have to say? Because I am proper fascinated by your thoughts and how you think. And I pray that you get the kind of support you need to get all of these out. Because, again, it's sitting in your head is not enough. You saying it is not enough. You imputing it into these young people is what we're looking for. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming. I have enjoyed thoroughly this conversation, but also I'm looking forward to the incredible things you're going to be doing, and we will throw our support behind you whenever we can. And whenever you need us, let me put it that way, whenever you need us. And I think the school thing, we can actually have a conversation about it. We'll see how we can pull it off. Thank you so much for coming. Now, to you out there, I keep telling you that we're learning and growing together here on the show. And so any opportunity you get to be here on this platform, make sure you pick a thing or two that would help shape your life to become a better version of yourself and even a better Ghanaian. Okay, we have more coming up. Ghana FinTech Awards is coming up, and we're about to have that conversation in a bit.